I've always loved old libraries. The smell of paper, the quiet like time itself, pauses between the shelves. So when I moved to this small coastal town, the first place I visited was the Hollow-End Public Library. The building stood at the edge of town, older than any other structure around it. The locals said it had been rebuilt many times. Every few decades, it mysteriously caught fire, no cause ever found. No survivors, if anyone was inside. But still, they rebuilt it each time. Same design, same structure, same head librarian. At least, that's what the townspeople claimed. The librarian's name was Mrs. Vale, a short, pale woman with thin gray hair tied tightly behind her head, and eyes that never seemed to blink long enough. She spoke softly, her voice almost drowned by the creak of the wooden floors. "You like to read after dark?" she asked me on my first visit. Yes, I smiled. "It's quieter then." She nodded slowly. Yes, the library prefers the quiet too. That line stuck with me. For the next few weeks, I visited every evening. The place felt peaceful until closing time. Around 8 p.m., something strange always happened. The air would grow heavy. The lights flickered. And faintly, from somewhere deep between the shelves, came the crackle of fire like burning paper. I once asked Mrs. Vale if she heard it too. Her lips curled slightly. Old buildings remember things, dear. Best not to listen too closely. Curiosity, of course, got the better of me. One night, I decided to stay after closing. I hid behind a tall shelf in the history section as Mrs. Vale turned off the lights and locked the main doors. Her footsteps faded away. Minutes later, the library grew unnaturally still. Then a faint orange glow appeared down the hallway. I stepped out carefully. At the far end, in the reading room, flames danced on the curtains, but nothing burned. The fire glowed bright, yet the fabric didn't melt. The smoke didn't rise. I stared in disbelief until I saw her. Mrs. Vale was standing in the middle of the flames, perfectly calm. Her pale face looked almost golden in the firelight. She whispered something, and one by one, the books around her began to open themselves. Their pages flipped rapidly, as if reading aloud in some forgotten language. And then I saw it, the black silhouettes inside the fire. Human shapes, twisting in silence, faces half-formed and melting away like wax. I ran, of course, straight for the exit, but the doors wouldn't budge. The wood was burning hot to the touch, yet the fire wasn't spreading, it was waiting. Behind me, Mrs. Vale's voice echoed, calm and steady. "You shouldn't be here after dark. The library keeps what it remembers." The lights went out. When I woke up, it was morning. I was lying in front of the library steps. A few people had gathered, whispering. The building was perfectly fine. No smoke, no damage. But they said they saw fire through the windows at midnight. I tried to tell them what happened, but no one believed me. That night, I went back desperate for answers. The library doors were open. The interior was freshly cleaned, almost too perfect. Mrs. Vale stood at the front desk, smiling faintly. "You came back," she said. "They always do." On the counter beside her was a framed black and white photo. The library's first staff picture, dated 1925. There she was, Mrs. Vale, unchanged. Same face, same calm eyes. My stomach turned cold. She noticed me staring. "The library burns when it's full," she said softly. "When every soul that's ever read within it finally remembers where they belong." Her smile deepened as a faint flicker of orange light reflected in her pupils. Before I could step back, I heard the sound again, faint at first, then growing louder. The crackle of invisible fire. The floorboards beneath my feet grew warm, and all around me, the books began to open. I don't remember running. I just remember the screams, not mine, but hundreds of voices whispering between the shelves, chanting something I couldn't understand. When I looked back one last time, the flames had returned, taller this time, swallowing the aisles one by one. Through the smoke, I saw Mrs. Vale, standing exactly where I'd first met her, smiling as the fire wrapped around her. The library burned that night. They rebuilt it, as they always do. Now, every time I pass by, I see someone new standing at the counter, another librarian, with that same faint smile and unblinking eyes. And sometimes, when the wind blows just right, I can still smell it. Old paper and something burning.